Lisa Kelly never grew into the person people saw on television. She was carved into it, slowly, through cold mornings and long nights, and the kind of work that leaves dirt under your nails, even after you wash your hands. She started far from the ice roads people would later tie her name to. Grand Rapids first, then a move north when she was a kid, to a patch of land in Sterling where the days were quiet, until you learned how much work lived underneath the quiet. Her father showed her early that nothing moved unless someone pushed it. Feed the animals, fix the fence, keep the place running. It was the sort of routine that didn't ask how you felt. You got up and did it because no one else would. That was the beginning of her education, long before anyone put a camera on her or asked for an autograph. College was the first thing she tried walking toward, and the first thing she walked away from. Cornerstone University felt like wearing someone else's coat, nothing fit. The days there didn't have the weight she was used to. She left before the place left a mark on her. Back in Alaska, she gravitated toward anything that carried speed or risk. Motocross caught her first. The throttle in her hand and the bike fighting under her gave her the kind of control and freedom she couldn't find anywhere else. She pushed herself hard enough to win state titles, hard enough to know the cost of hitting the ground, and the better feeling of getting up again. When she wasn't riding, she was throwing herself out of planes for the rush of skydiving or strapping into a snowboard and tearing down whatever slope she could find. She liked anything that made her feel alive by threatening to take it from her. She worked whatever jobs kept her moving. Gas stations, pizza deliveries, the kind of work you do before the real path shows up. Driving a school bus taught her the shape and weight of a bigger vehicle, and that gave her something to hold on to. She looked at trucking one day, and something about it felt familiar. It looked interesting, looked like a life with a rhythm she understood. She set her eyes on Carlisle Transportation, a company that didn't hand out chances easily. Walking into that world as a woman wasn't simple. She learned quickly that every mistake echoed twice as loud, and every good day had to be better than the one before it. She pulled her loads without complaining. She learned every corner of the rigs she drove. She kept her head down until the work itself started speaking for her. The crew from the reality show showed up later. They were scouting drivers, and her boss pointed at her because she had already earned their respect long before anyone thought about pointing a camera at her. The producers saw something in her right away. Maybe it was the stubborn streak that never softened. Maybe it was how she talked about the road like it was a living thing. She didn't audition to be a star. She just kept doing her job, and the story built itself around her. When the show aired in 2009, people called her the Arctic Fox, a name that stuck to her like frost on a windshield. She didn't chase fame. Fame slid across the ice toward her because she was already there. The ice roads were brutal, the kind of place where metal complains and the cold bites hard. She handled the trucks with steady hands, not because she wanted attention, but because she understood what happened if she didn't. The cameras caught her grinding through gears, checking chains, crawling under rigs while the wind threatened to peel the skin off her face. People admired the way she faced danger. She never thought much about that. To her, it was a job that required everything she had, and some days it wanted more. Away from the cameras, she built a life that balanced her out. She met Travis while buying a Kawasaki 125. He was a motorcycle mechanic then, steady with his hands and grounded in a way she needed. They married in 2008 and settled into something solid. He later shifted into plumbing, a job that paid predictably and kept their home life stable. He didn't chase attention. He worked. He showed up. He was full Aleut native Alaskan and carried the land in the way he moved through it. The two of them built their life around simple things: animals, open space, a routine that felt real, no kids, just the creatures they cared about and the road that kept calling her back. The show opened doors that work alone couldn't. It paid well and helped her stack enough money to start thinking bigger. She had always wanted her own truck, her own business, something that belonged entirely to her. Eventually, she stepped away from being a company driver and became an owner-operator. Arctic Fox. Trucking wasn't just a name, it was a leap into a world where every breakdown was her problem, every repair hit her bank account, and every mile put wear on something she had paid for. She moved from Wasilla to Fairbanks because it put her closer to the Hall Road. That highway was ruthless but profitable. She understood that if she wanted the income of a true independent hauler, she needed to be closer to the work. She bought a 2019 Peterbilt 389, the kind of truck that made her proud every time she climbed into it. That rig was worth almost six figures and held her future inside its steel owning. It meant long nights under the hood, grease staining her sleeves, and the quiet anxiety that came every time a strange noise echoed through the cab. Some days she drove for hours without seeing another living soul. Snow kicked up behind her like ghosts trying to catch her. The road tested her constantly. She learned to trust her instincts more than anything else. Cold weather rattled the bolts loose and ice formed where it didn't belong. She handled each problem as it showed up. Fix one thing, keep rolling, fix the next. Her time on television didn't end when the ice roads disappeared from screens for a while. She shifted into sponsored work. Big Road, Chevron, hauling events, meet and greets. She talked to fans, shot online series segments, and kept the business side of her career moving. Social media wasn't her natural home, but she treated it like another tool. Keep it active. Keep people updated. She built an audience that stayed with her even when the world stopped airing her story on cable. Money flowed from different places now. The truck, the sponsorships, the years of reality TV. She stacked it slowly and carefully until her net worth sat somewhere between $2.5 and $5 million, depending on who counted. None of it came easy. None of it fell into her lap. It came from cold nights, from being the first one to chains, from hauling loads in places most people avoided. When the show announced a comeback for 2025, she was ready. Older, tougher, owning her truck now instead of borrowing someone else's. She came back to the cameras not as the girl breaking into the industry, but as the woman who had held her own business together through the years. The early episodes would show what her life really looked like. Climbing into a Peterbilt she paid for, worrying about repairs that could ruin a season, taking loads for Muskie Creek and pushing through the same frozen ground she had traveled countless times. There was no role this time, no proving herself to a crew, just a woman running a business with everything on the line. Off camera, she still drove the Dalton Highway year-round. That road had become a part of her. She lent her voice to a PC game once, and fans heard her the way she talked in real life, straight, plain, honest. Her social pages showed pieces of her days, snow breaking around her truck, horses in the yard, moments where she seemed tired but steady. People whispered rumors about her, as if someone who vanished from screens must have fallen off the map. She kept living her life while they talked. She kept driving, kept fixing what broke, kept pushing toward whatever came next. Her story wasn't about fame or proving something to strangers. It was about survival, opportunity, work that demanded everything. She built a life that held together in the cold, carried by her own hands and supported by a partner who never asked her to be anything other than what she was. Lisa Kelly kept moving forward because stopping never made sense to her. The road shaped her. The choices shaped her. Every mile cut another line into her character until she became the woman people still talk about. Not because she wanted the attention, but because she earned it the hard way, one long haul at a time.